Muscle building 101. Let's focus on the key things to do. So first, calories. So if you're new to training, you haven't been training very long with weights, then you can gain muscle on a calorie maintenance or a calorie deficit, which means you're eating less calories than you're burning. So if that's you, you can have maintenance calories or slightly less and still build muscle because you have newbie gains, as we call them, still to be achieved. Now, if you've been training hard with weights for 2+ years, and or you're already lean, then you're gonna need a slight calorie surplus in calories. Next, protein. Protein has the building blocks needed for you to build muscle. Now you wanna aim for around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. And then if you have, say, 50+ more pounds of fat to lose, that could be a lot of protein for you to eat if you use that calculation. So you can use your goal weight for your calculation if that's you. The next thing we have to focus on for muscle growth to be achieved is 3 to 5 training sessions per week, or what we call training frequency. So the muscles you are about to train need to be ready to be pushed again. That's how you know if you're ready to go back to the gym to train. So we want to stimulate those muscles 3 to 5 times per week. But it's not just enough of going to the gym 3 to 5 times per week. When we're at the gym, there's 4 things you want to be focusing on to maximize your muscle growth. First and foremost, good technique. This boils down to, are you targeting the right muscle fibers for this lift? So it's not just enough to do RDLs. It's not just enough to do a bench press. It's not just enough to do a pull down. You want to target the muscle fibers that are the primary movers for that exercise. So in a Romanian deadlift, are you feeling your glutes working, or are you only feeling your back? On a dumbbell bench press, can you feel your chest doing most of the work, or are your shoulders taking over, or maybe your triceps taking over? On a pull down, are you feeling your lats, which are the muscles on the side of your rib cage on the backside? Or do you feel your biceps, your forearms doing most of the work? Now, if you're a Cave member, feel free to ask us, your coaches, and we will let you know where you should be feeling that particular exercise. So we need to have good technique, so you're targeting the muscle fibers that you want to grow. Number 2, we need to control the reps. Now, this point supports the point above. If you have control, you're gonna have better technique, and you're gonna have what's called time under tension. This is the number of seconds those muscle fibers are being targeted, which is going to be putting workload on those so you can grow and shape the areas of the body that you're looking to train. Number 3, we want to train with a full range of motion. Muscle growth is maximized when done in this stretch or bottom part of the rep. For example, on a dumbbell bench press, many people will bench press with about this level of depth. So they're not going all the way down. We want to have reps that look like this, so a full deep stretch. The chest muscle is really stretching, and that's going to produce more muscle growth than this style. Now you can apply the same principle to things like bicep curls, going all the way down on those, squats, using a weight that's light enough so you can go all the way down to the bottom of the squat. That's going to be the best range of motion for muscle growth. Now, added benefit of training with full range of motion is you're going to maximize flexibility. The weight itself will help you increase your flexibility, but you will have to use slightly lighter weights temporarily to get used to that greater range of motion. Now, the last thing, you could go to the gym and have good technique. You could have controlled reps. You could have full range of motion. But if your sets are not difficult, those 3 things won't really matter. So we need to make sure that the difficulty of your sets is where it needs to be. So the first couple sets of the exercise, you want to have around 2 to 3 reps in reserve, which basically means, let's say you're doing 8 reps of a bench press. You do the 8th rep, but you have 2 to 3 reps more in the tank that you could have kept doing. In other words, it's not extremely hard on set number 1, set number 2. But the final sets, you want to have 0 to 2 reps in reserve, which means when you do that 8th rep, you could not have done a 9th. That would be 0 reps in reserve, but maybe you still have 1 to 2 reps in reserve on that. So we want them to be challenging towards the end. The last piece is we need to make sure that your recovery outside of the gym is good. We need to have sleep and stress managed so that we can maximize recovery and muscle growth. So the levers you have to produce change is to adjust your calories and proteins for your goal, to make sure your recovery where it's at, have training frequency 3 to 4 times per week, and a good training quality.